And right now we are learning about a problem affecting a number of senior citizens right here in the Valley. Fear is preventing many of them from using their Medicaid benefits.
The worry is the state will seize their property after they die, leaving their children without an inheritance. Channel 5's Trayson Bragg learned more about a legal loophole.
The program administrator says that fear is keeping many Texans from receiving the care they need and deserve. She says there's a program that can ensure the home you work so hard for will stay in your family after you die.
My mother was so upset that, she was, got to a point where she said, nobody's taking this home from me.
Minerva Sturgill says her parents bought their home 70 years ago. Now in their early 90s, they look forward to one day leaving the home to Sturgill and her siblings. Sturgill tells us recently her father needed to be checked into a nursing home. He planned to use Medicaid benefits, but was surprised to learn
an application was, submitted, and they were informing us that someday, because of the cost, that one of those forms says they can come and take my parents home.
Sturgill tells us this revelation left her parents frustrated and fearful. Hoping to calm their fears, she and her sister rushed to the local Area Agency on Aging office. Their program administrator, Deborah Lachico, explained the Sturgills weren't the only Medicaid-eligible seniors unpleasantly surprised.
There's a lot of fear.
Lachico explains that due to constraints in the budget and pressure from the federal government, Texas was forced to pass the Medicaid Estate Recovery Program in 2005.
When that person passed away, if they did not meet one of the exemptions, and there's many of them, then the state had the right to come in and recoup the money that they paid out for that person.
Lachico says once a recipient received over $3,000 in Medicaid benefits, their property could be seized after their death. However, she explains that a nonprofit organization called the Texas Legal Services Center discovered a legal loophole to the program. The loophole is called the Transfer on Death Deed Project.
What the heirs will do is they will go to the courthouse, get a copy of the the Todd document, submit it to the state agency, and that's it. It protects their home and lot.
We reached out to the Texas Legal Services Center. A representative explained that the nonprofit will educate eligible Medicaid recipients and their families on the steps needed to enroll in the Transfer on Death Deed Project free of charge. Sturgill says that's a huge weight lifted off she and her family's shoulders. They plan on taking the necessary steps as soon as possible. Lachico tells us anyone interested in the Transfer on Death Deed Project may call Texas Legal Services Center toll-free at 800-622-2520. In the studio, Trayson Bragg, Channel 5 News at 6.
Now, there are several exemptions to the Medicaid Estate Recovery Program. This is a Channel 5 News Extra. Being exempt from the program means the state may not seize your home as repayment, even without the Transfer on Death Deed Project. According to the Texas.gov website, the state will not ask for repayment when there is a spouse who is still alive, there's a child under 21 years of age, there's a child of any age who is blind or permanently and totally disabled under Social Security requirements. The value of the estate is $10,000 or less. The amount of Medicaid is $3,000 or less. There's an unmarried adult child who lived full-time in the Medicaid person's home for at least 1 year before the person died. The cost of selling the property is more than the property is worth.